Hello and welcome back to Cabincast with Oliver and Tom.
Woo!
It's another one of those episodes. Game Awards just happened, and there were a bunch of trailers and things. At least I think it was all from Game Awards.
Might be. I don't know.
Yeah, bunch of stuff happened. That we're not gonna cover, but is worth mentioning. Some fun new games. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League got another trailer which looked pretty cool. So did Gollum and Forspoken. Elden Ring got a story trailer. Alan Wake 2 got announced, which I'm very excited for. A Wonder Woman game got announced as well. So did a
Ooh.
Sonic game. Also, just Sonic 2. Which actually looks pretty awesome, to be fair. Cuphead got some DLC. GTFO version 1.0 got a launch trailer thing, which is all very cool. Star Trek Resurgence got announced. We're not going to react to that because I know nothing about it. But it's Star Trek, so I'm sure Tom knows something or will be interested in whatever that is.
Yeah,
But,
I'll have to have a look at it later.
Yeah.
Google
And also Dune Spice Wars, which is also pretty cool. But
it's a
Tom
Dune
hasn't seen
game.
Dune yet, I
The
believe.
last time there was a Dune game, it was a 4X what's it? Age of Empires.
I think this is Grand Strategy.
Ooh.
I think.
I'm
Or
actually gonna have
strategy
to
to
have a
some
look at this.
extent. But
I'll have to have a
again,
look
Tom has not seen Dune. The new one, at least. I don't believe.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the
So,
old one, but yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going to cover that.
Can thank
Even though it's
everybody
kind of
dying
different
of COVID for that.
Yeah,
Specifically my
sad
family.
times. He doesn't mean literally dying.
Figuratively.
Figuratively, cool, yeah.
For 2 weeks.
Yes, but there are some things that we are here to talk about. The first one is a thing that literally just popped up into my feed when I was getting ready to look for the other stuff. So we're going to get into this in 3, 2, 1 now. And I'm sure Tom's going to know what it is immediately.
It is what I thought it was.
Fantastic Beasts
fantastic
3.
as the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, what before?
Ooh, yeah.
Grin didn't look like Depp.
It's not. They had to change it because of all the controversy.
Oh, okay.
But that was Mickelson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Still pretty awesome. Giving him a wand.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty great character, to be fair. Credence.
Mm-hmm.
And his brother, of course, yeah.
Oh, that's a big thing.
Ooh. Pretty cool. Room of Requirement. Yeah, you have a birth.
I am very glad to see that.
Mm-hmm. April 2022.
Yeah, that's that. I'm very glad that they because obviously the last one, Crimes of Grindelwald, did not. It was not received very well.
I mean, people somehow expected the second in what apparently is a 5-part series to explain everything, which is just like that's
Yeah,
guys.
I mean, I would argue that. Yeah, I would argue that again. This 5 movies very well may be dragging it out a bit. However,
I would agree. Yes,
okay, yeah, I didn't think it was nearly as bad as some people
and I
said it
think I
was.
think most of it was great. I think it was just the last twist that people were like, "What?
Yeah,
That
that
makes
was a
no
bit weird.
sense." And sure, it is a bit odd. I'm sure it'll get explained. Um,
Secret of Dumbledore, Secrets of
but
Dumbledore.
exactly. So
Yeah,
yeah, we have not talked about the Fantastic Beast films yet. We've barely talked about the Harry Potter films.
yeah,
They
the books were
are
better.
the books were better, as with almost everything.
Yes, that is
Um,
true. Although
they
it is
are
less pronounced than with some other series. I'm looking at you, Game of Thrones.
indeed. But that was just a cool thing that popped up. Excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, it'll be
Um,
interesting.
yeah.
I wonder if we'll get any more like. I mean, we're going to be far more in Hogwarts this time, so
So it
they
seems
can
so. It's gonna be
reuse
cool to see there's
sets.
some references and stuff. Yeah.
Wonder if they're going to use the exact same sets
Yeah.
because the castles are still there. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, yeah. The places that they've been from, I guess. So yeah, it will be interesting to see.
Hmm.
For sure. Obviously, stuff with J.K. Rowling.
Flip
Yeah,
of the
it's
coin.
it's it's a mess, but um, Harry
Oh
Potter
yeah,
is much
that
bigger
that
than
is
just
that yeah that controversy.
yeah. So
Fantastic Beasts has not really had a good time with controversy, has it? It's got
no,
Johnny Depp and the whole mess that's surrounding that, which still
yeah.
doesn't look
Uh,
to.
slowly making ground, but it's like really hard to see if he's actually
Yeah, if he's like,
guilty or if it's not him and it is Amber Heard or if it's both of them. It's yeah, it's
we
a
will
mess.
reserve judgment on this. I know there's a lot of
Exactly.
strong feelings either way on this.
hmm But that
Ultimately,
was
I think they were both very stupid.
yes. I mean, but the new guy playing uh, to be fair, um we've seen him change his face before, Grindelwald.
Mhm.
Um,
We have, yes.
he's been this is now his third face, and that is I think it's Mads Mikkelsen. He's definitely a Mikkelsen, and
Mhm.
he was Urso in Star Wars,
Huh.
wasn't he? He was Galen Urso. I'm
Yeah.
99% sure he was. I have a feeling he's also in Death Stranding. He's in lots of things. Uh, but he's very cool as well.
The way
So
you
yeah,
said Urso, though, for some reason, it was very close to Ursa. I was like, what, you talking about Zuko's mum? What?
nope, not Ursa. Not no, not no, no. Yeah. Okay, next one. I think this might be more the one that you are thinking of. I'm
Yeah,
gonna get into
so
it.
block it.
Starting in three, two, one, now.
I saw those words, Ollie.
Yeah.
It is what I think it is.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
It is. It is. It's Star Wars, guys. In case you
It's Star
didn't know that.
Wars, yeah.
No longer bound to EA.
Yeah, and this is
Lucasfilm
Lucasfilm
Games.
Games, which is nice to see back.
It is slightly different to what it used to be called, um,
Yeah, but
but it's the
it's
same
it's it's
spiritual
yeah,
things.
it's the
And
spirit of the company is returned.
I love the multi-planet shots you get in Star Wars.
Yeah,
Because, like, do they logically actually make that much sense? No.
this
But do they
music
look
sounds
cool?
almost
Yes.
BSG, by the way.
It does a bit. All the stuff looks so real as well.
Yeah, it is
I'm
absolutely
like,
incredible.
is this real or is this all in engine?
Yeah,
Because I don't know. Yoda,
Yoda.
which is why we know it's High Republic. Protocol droid.
staring at an eclipse is not generally a advisable idea.
No.
That ship looks suspiciously like I say suspiciously similar to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
certain ships in the Modians.
Mm. And
Trade Federation.
Luca Hulk's style ship, though slightly different. Do love the drums. What does it all mean?
Yeah, and then we get this slowly
This
rising.
guy. Which again, what does it all mean? Because, like, I love the logo as well.
Yeah, the logo is very cool.
Because, like, when you're on a planetary, like a thing like Star Wars, which for the most part is, you know, multi-planetary, like, how useful is, like, the relevance of an eclipse, you'd imagine, is severely diminished. So it's going to be very interesting to
Yes
see how that
and
relates.
no. I suppose it depends very much on the planet, because I mean we've seen planets that are very insular in their behaviour,
Indeed.
and indeed there's also planets that can't even have an eclipse regardless. I mean, look at Tatooine.
True.
I suppose you could
Yeah.
potentially have a single eclipse of one sun. Yeah. That might be something, but yeah, it's difficult to. It's clearly. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it's High Republic. It's High Republic." I'm not entirely sure it's High Republic. It could potentially be in between what Disney has termed High Republic and what is the prequel era or the beginning of the prequel era.
Yeah.
So I would be hesitant to say that it's Super High Republic, because it doesn't feel, at least to me, Super High Republic. But then again, I might be wrong. The involvement of the Trade Federation is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to be a secondary antagonist, because clearly we're getting some sort of new antagonist in this.
It certainly looks that way.
And if I was to hazard a bet, a guess, from my knowledge of Star Wars beyond that, and from what I'd like to see some sort of Force units outside the Sith.
Yeah.
There were a lot of that in the expanded universe, where we had various Force cults and other sorts of stuff. Most prominently, Dathomirian witches, which we of course see in the Clone Wars and beyond, and in Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And this was a time where the Sith were basically all but gone, so the Jedi were sort of more focused on suppressing their ideals, and a cult maybe formed around some of the Sith beliefs, but taking it in their own way would be interesting.
Sure, for sure would be, yeah.
Although, once again, as always with Star Wars, you can never rule out the Sith, because the Sith are Sith.
Yep.
I don't know whether we're getting. It seems like if it is multi-planets in terms of like multi-planet jumping, I think it's going to be focusing on one planet.
Yeah, that's my main takeaway, is that, like, even though we seem to be doing a lot of stuff in space, and lots of the locations do look dissimilar, they don't look too
dissimilar.
different.
Yeah, they look like they're the same planet.
Like,
it looks
they
like
could well be the same planet, and if you've
I'm
got
almost
the thing
wondering if it's
about an eclipse, they kind of got to be, you'd think.
Yeah, the city looks very similar to Jeddah.
Yeah, kind of,
Jeddah
actually, doesn't
vibes
it?
from there.
Yeah.
So if it is multi-planet, I would suggest that Jeddah is potentially a location. However, I personally subscribe to the idea that it's probably going to be one planet. I'm not going to lie, one of the least interesting parts of Knights of the Old Republic to me was the hopping between like random planets.
Sure.
because the problem is when you've got lots of random planets, there's less room for exploration because you've got more things to do.
Yeah.
The terrain is typically less varied because you don't want it feeling similar to a different planet. So, for example, Kashyyyk is always forest and it's always dense forest. And you're like, well, I kind of want to go see other parts of Kashyyyk, but you don't see that.
Yeah.
I can't comment on Jedi Fallen Order because I still have yet to play that game, which is criminal of me
We should
for a
really
Star
try
Wars
and
fan.
see if we can. It would be a
Um,
long one, but it would be a really good one for us to. Oh, I mean, we could stream it actually. Well, this is a discussion for later.
yes, this is a discussion for later.
But we should see if we could do that for sure.
Yeah, we'll think about that. It's criminally insane that I haven't done that, but I can't comment on it. Although I know that game also jumps planets because I know we get Dathomir in that, we get Kashyyyk. I want to say we get some unique planets as well.
We do. And any others might be spoilers, so I'm not going to mention them.
Fair enough.
But yeah, but in that one, like, yeah, there's less planets, so they do, they're a bit more
feel more, yes,
like in depth and stuff. They don't feel just kind of like skins or biomes
I do hope
or something.
Fallen Order continues to get its sequel. I think EA was suggesting it was going to do.
think it should still do. I think.
Hopefully,
I'm pretty sure that was greenlit before things changed, and
yeah,
it's done well enough to keep that.
yeah. As for this, yeah, I mean, there's not much we can gain from the plot. We see Yoda, so we know at the very least that this is
when Yoda's alive.
When Yoda's alive, which is High Republic to original series, and it's clearly not original series, seeing as he's on Coruscant.
Not at all. Yeah.
And also there's a bunch of Republic symbology everywhere.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, the characters are kept very mysterious. We do see two female Jedi fighting, and then we see the face of a female Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is a female Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
And we see someone coming out of the black goo, which reminds me of Armus from Star Trek, if any of you can get that reference. Skin of Evil! Obviously not the same character.
No.
But potentially our main antagonist. If it is Jedi, we're going to get the traditional groan from members of the community going, well, I don't want the Jedi, because, Star Wars, despite being an expansive universe with lots of different places to explore, is ultimately, and always has been, about the Jedi and the Sith.
Indeed.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
But hey, it might be
I don't mind it.
Too early to
Star
tell.
Wars is that's what it is.
Yeah.
About, typically. It'll be interesting to see if they go the... How would we term it? The Fallen Order route, or whether they go the Old Republic route. Because in the Old Republic, you start out, you don't know you're a Jedi, so you start out using guns and that type of stuff. Whereas I assume in Fallen Order, you're more straight away with the Jedi stuff.
Yeah, you'll see, but yeah.
But that was like sort of a key part of the Old Republic, where you sort of learn to become more of a Jedi, and then by the end, you become really good with the lightsaber. You don't have to. You could still use blasters. I mean, you would probably end up dying, but you could.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part of that of that game, in my opinion, because it's sort of discovering the Jedi abilities and moving forward with it. I wonder if they're going to take one of those approaches, or if they're going to take a completely different approach to this.
Sure,
it
will
feels,
be interesting to see.
The story-wise, if it is linked onto one planet, it begins to feel a lot more like Jedi Padawan plus Jedi Master go to planet to sort out an issue, and that's the story. And that's the type of stories which I think we're really missing out from. It's one of the reasons why I praised that episode of Star Wars Visions.
The Elder, I think.
Yeah, where we just had a Jedi Padawan and a Jedi Master showing up on a planet and investigating something.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty cool.
it feels very close to the sort of books that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of the books that I grew up with,
Yeah,
and some of the lore I grew up with in that sort of era before
sure.
the prequels, and
Yeah.
then obviously Star Wars: The Clone Wars became a thing. But
Mhm.
and even I think some episodes of that had that type of Jedi off on a random planet doing something type feel. But
Mm-hmm. But yeah, not too much more we can say about that one.
yeah,
But
it's
we
it's
have
not it's not
another.
given much away.
Yeah.
There's nothing that stands out to me for being like direct inspiration from Legends.
Mm-hmm. Or at
Um,
least not yet.
yeah, I might have missed something, and I'm sure any of you other
Sure, there'll be trailer breakdowns and
extremely
stuff.
Star Wars fans that definitely regularly listen to us will tell us off for it. But I don't think there's anything there.
Yeah, indeed. Okay. Next thing. Again, don't know if you'll have seen this or heard of this already, Tom. So,
Let's
in,
go.
starting in 3, 2, 1, now.
Mm.
Oh, well, it's told you what it is. So there
Yeah.
we go. Halo. Now, this one
Ooh.
is definitely live action, but also really like that High Charity looks incredible.
That was a very interesting mix of the Halo 3.
Hmm.
Sorry, not the Halo 3, the Halo Infinite and the Halo 4 design. I'm not sure if you
Mm-hmm.
saw that.
On
I'm
the
gonna have to pick this.
Spartans.
Yeah, hang on. Pause on the Spartans.
Uh, uh,
Okay, so that's 025. Oh god. I can't remember if that is Linda. Let me just check that quickly.
because that looks like that's this is blue team, right?
I'm pretty sure potentially. Hang on, let me.
This really looks like it's blue team to me, based on my limited Halo knowledge.
I don't think it is. I might be
Because like
wrong.
some of them look kind of similar to how at least they looked in Halo 4, but yeah, I'm not an expert by any means, so
Yeah. I mean, we don't have. It looks like we have a chief. It looks like we have. I tell you what, it could be actually.
uh-huh.
In fact, what I think it might be likely they're doing. I think that is potentially the three-man blue team that went to I forget the name of the station. It's in the Fall of Reach, but Chief Linda, which is one of the members in Halo 5,
Yeah.
and can't remember the name of the last guy, go to this station because they need to do the Cole protocol. And it's where they find Sergeant Johnson, and then it's from there that they get picked up by the Pillar of Autumn. I
Right.
am suspicious of this. I think this might be misleading. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know whether they are trying whether this is going to be a full-on because we get young Dr. Halsey.
Yes.
I don't know whether this is going to be like a full-on retread of the Fall of Reach to fit the new 343 canon a little bit better as
Hmm.
a TV series. It would be
Sure.
extremely interesting if they did, or whether this is going to be a unique story telling something to do with Halo Infinite, linking in with Halo Infinite with flashbacks to the Fall of Reach.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Much to say.
it's difficult to say. The problem with the Fall of Reach theory
Mm-hmm.
is none of the scenes immediately stand out to me as on reach.
Yeah.
And obviously the difficulty with Fall of Reach is, you need reach. However, if they are doing Fall of Reach and they want to keep it secret, you wouldn't show reach, would you?
Yeah. No, you wouldn't.
The pelicans and the warthogs and all the stuff looks very good
Looks
though.
so good. Like that shot of High Charity.
Yeah. I'm
Was
almost wondering if that
amazing.
is the autumn. The scene here.
I was thinking that, yeah, maybe it's the autumn.
Again, though, the problem is we don't get any
We
defining
don't
features
have
of the autumn.
enough, which is, I'm sure, intentional.
And once again, scaling in Halo is batshit insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I like my scaling. I like making annoying things with scaling. It's one of the reasons why I get annoyed with the Star Destroyers in Rise of Skywalker. Because they could have just made them like normal Imperial Star Destroyers and everything would have been fine. But no, they had to make it a scaled up class, which makes all of the scaling not work.
Yep.
Halo's even worse for that. We'll put it that way. Halo has got some real problems when it comes to its scaling. I think most notably, Pillar of Autumn changes size between Reach and CE.
Yep.
And then changes sizes again in the intro for Spartan Ops in Halo 4.
Yep.
Where we see like one pelican like land on a new castle, the Pillar of Autumn, and it's like tiny and it's like a tiny hangar bay. Yet when we saw the Pillar of Autumn, we were seeing like multiple of these pelicans. It's like, how does that work?
It kind of does seem specifically that ship.
Yeah.
The Pillar of Autumn's the main one, which is just
but there's also there's also Long Night of Solace in comparison to Shadow of Intent.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, I do know there'll be several people out there who go, well, they're different classes. They're not. It's the same model. They scaled it up for Reach because they wanted a bigger ship, and that's literally the only reason. It's Long Night of Solace is Shadow of Intent, but scaled up.
Yeah.
And I think the Infinity has some minor scaling issues as well between Halo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
4, 5. I don't know how it stacks up in Infinite. That's a bit of a spoiler. Sorry. But
everything looks great.
Yeah, everything looks great. I mean, the small scale scaling here with the Warthogs to the Scorpion to the Pelican actually looks really
pretty
good.
accurate, to be fair, yeah.
It looks about right.
Yeah.
This character. I wonder if that's Miranda. Miranda Keyes from Halo 3.
Maybe. Yeah, it's really hard to get a grasp on exactly what time period you're going for. Like,
Yeah,
obviously, it's during Covenant because there's High Charity still.
Yeah, we see High Charity.
So we know vaguely. We know it's not Halo 4 onwards, but beyond that, we don't really know.
I mean, that almost looks like... I mean, that could be anywhere. That could be
Reach, but it could be any other city as well.
That could be New Alexandria. That could be another city on Reach. That could be a city on Earth. Sydney's quite important to the United Earth because that's where most of its government is actually held. Which, by the way, really interesting placement. Sydney, Australia would not have thought of that.
No.
But that's where the civilian government was held, apparently.
Yeah.
Similar to how in like Star Trek, all of the... Although I suppose it makes a bit more sense in Star Trek Paris.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe there was some sort of war.
Again, we know very little, but it looks very cool.
Yeah, then we get this guy. I don't know who.
No, don't
know. No clue about him. Get Chief Punching Sand. Now, Reach is supposedly an arid planet.
True.
Which we don't really see in the game. It's not really well represented in the games.
No.
But Well, I say Reach is an arid planet. Reach is arid to boreal, so it has lots of arid areas. It has lots of boreal areas.
Yes.
And it doesn't have any real areas in between.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it could be Reach, but it could just as easily be New Mombasa or somewhere in Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, that is very clearly Chief.
Yeah, 117, white visor, white
But
car.
again, the armor makes it like really difficult to place because it's again kind of a mix of his Infinite suit and his Halo 4 suits, none of which are in any of these eras. I may add. If they were going for Fall of Reach, then you'd think they'd be going for the CE design.
Yeah.
I mean, they could retcon that. I'm sure a lot of people would get very upset.
Yeah. Hard to say. Or it might just be that like we've got better detailed designs from 4 and Infinite.
Yeah,
So we
maybe.
got it based off of that. Maybe. But yeah, hard to say.
Yeah, going back. This is interesting.
Yeah, that ship. What is that? And what's that?
I mean, the
place
ship,
attached?
I'm pretty sure, is UNSC. That could be one of several things. It could be the Ark.
Mm.
Sorry, not the Ark. The portal to the Ark.
Mm.
It could be just a random Forerunner installation.
Yeah.
Or it could be potentially the artifact on Reach, which is the Forerunner installation.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
But the problem with the artifact on Reach, once again, is that artifact was under Castle Base, which was in the Boreal area of Reach.
Yeah, which is not
buried
here.
under ice, and that this is very much not there, unless. Again, this is set after the fall of Reach, when Reach has been glassed.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's rings in the background.
I was about to say there's rings. I don't think Reach has rings.
You know what? I'm pretty sure there was some stuff in the night sky that did have rings on Reach. Let me have a look. Rings in Reach.
Bit more detail in that Google search, to be fair.
Yeah, probably. Night sky. The problem with rings and okay, there is a planet like a moon or something. I don't know if it is directly Reach, but there are rings in the shots panning up to Reach.
Ah.
So maybe again they've done a very good job of concealing what this place is.
Okay.
Although the presence of rings, I suppose, does cut out the New Mombasa theory and the Ark.
Definitely not Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, another
That's
very
our
interesting
first
trailer
panning shot
to see.
What is this? Again, it's Master Chief in like a random area.
Some kind of structure.
And then this is that human city that we saw at night time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now that does look a bit suspicious because again, that snow, Boreal, it could be Reach, but then again, it could just as easily be somewhere snowy elsewhere in humanity. I assume this is a human city. It looks human.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually cannot place this this trailer.
Much like the last one, it's a lot of hinting and
presumably Doctor Halsey.
Quite likely, yeah. But
and
without
again,
giving
like,
away anything too much.
The Dr. Halsey, if she is Dr. Halsey, that's a very young Dr. Halsey.
Yeah.
Which makes this even more confusing. What is another thing that's made me think Fall of Reach is this asteroid colony.
Yeah.
Because in Fall of Reach, the first mission that the Chief and Blue Team get assigned to, a mission that I think in the Fall of Reach animated movie, they like randomly put some other people on. Either that or it was the boarding of a certain Covenant frigate that they put more people on.
Mm.
and they infiltrated it to kill a insurrectionist mole. In fact, it was an insurrectionist base, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And that is a beautiful shot of High Charity.
Yeah.
I cannot make my mind up about what that is. I want to say it's Fall of Reach, but there's too much. High Charity doesn't appear in Fall of Reach. However, if they're going to give more context to that story, they could show how the war started.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that's caused the most discussion because it's the one that I can actually try and place. I've known this has been coming for a while, to be fair.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they based it off Fall of Reach and its associated models like First Strike, the Flood.
Yeah.
Because you could very easily do Fall of Reach, the Flood. In fact, the Flood would be a really good one to do because that would allow you to make references to Combat Evolved.
Mm.
Because that takes place at the same time as Combat Evolved, and it's got a lot of like random chief popping up. The First Strike is a very interesting novel,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ghost of Onyx. I suppose you could go all the way up to Ghost of Onyx and do that book series as season 1, 2, 3, 4. And I would kind of like it to be that, but I mean, I also kind of want it to be its own thing, and there are parts of this which literally make 0 sense.
Indeed.
When you add in like other random stuff. So I don't know if it's Fall of Reach, but not like taking the early parts of Fall of Reach.
Yeah.
And just ignoring the actual Fall of Reach, leaving that for a later series, or whether it and telling its own stories in the meantime about the start of the Covenant War. We could be seeing Harvest for all we know.
That's a good point. Yeah, could be.
I mean, Harvest was a very fertile planet, but I suppose after glassing it could look deserty.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a 5-year-long combat on Harvest where the planet was getting constantly glassed and reglassed and nuked. So, yeah, maybe.
Well, you're just going to have to wait and find out, basically.
Yeah, that more information required. Preliminary influences from Fall of Reach, but otherwise unaffiliated.
Mm-hmm. So we've got one more, which again,
One more.
I might have seen, but cover it up just in case you haven't. Starting in 3, 2, 1, now.
Oh, it's...
You seen this yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Expanse.
Yeah.
A Telltale series.
A Telltale series on the Expanse.
Telltale is back? Question mark?
Telltale is... I'm not sure what's going on.
Because they collapsed, didn't they, I thought?
Yeah, me too. But no.
Let's... The rumours of our demise have been greatly exaggerated. Telltale video game. Let's have a look. General thing. Telltale Games. Yes, Telltale Games is defunct as of 2018. But it has a successor, Telltale Games, which is currently in operation. Okay. Established. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. License things. Corporation law. Started to negotiate with Sherwood
yeah, because
Partners.
Star Trek Resurgence is also Telltale. Or it's from
Yeah.
people. It's from people who used to be part of Telltale, and even it's not actually
Tell
Telltale.
pronounce acquisition of much of Telltale Games. Okay, so it's LCG Entertainment.
Mm,
Um, bought the rights to Telltale,
yeah,
including branding, games, licensed games, and announcements in 2019. And
that'd be
they
the one
then
then.
announced that they would bring back the name under the thing. So yes, it is Telltale, basically, but it's a completely new development series.
Yeah,
Um,
which looks cool. Again, I need to actually finish uh Expanse because I have not.
do a
Season 6 has
Untitled
started coming
Stranger
out
Things game.
as well. Yeah, that looks interesting as well.
So yeah, Batman Shadow Edition. That's already been released apparently.
Yep,
The Wolf Among Us 2 and The
yep,
Expanse are the ones that they've got currently under the go. They
indeed.
do need to. So yeah, that was Wolf Among Us 2 was restarted under LCC. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They do need to diversify though what they were doing
Sure.
because they kind of just were spamming them out after they had that success with The Walking Dead, and then they
Walking
just
Dead
started.
and then the Batman ones, I think, did pretty well,
Yeah, they did Walking Dead,
and
then they did
then
Walking
kept
Dead
on doing.
season 2, then they did Wolf Among Us, which was somewhat alright. Then they did Tales from the Borderlands. The Game of Thrones one was actually really good.
I didn't even know there was a game of Borderlands.
Yeah, it was like they
Wow.
focused in on like a random northern house, and it was surprisingly good. And then they left it on a cliffhanger, and they never finished it. And
Alas.
then there was Minecraft Story Mode.
Yeah. Fair,
Then just
fair.
more Walking Dead. Then they did Batman, and that instantly took off because Batman is the type of thing that people are like, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, though, we were here to talk about the Expanse one. I don't recognize that character's name, but I don't know if that's just because it's been so long since I've been watching, or if
She's
it's that
the
I've actually not got to it yet.
OPA lieutenant. So she's the woman who follows what's his name, Marcus around.
Oh, right, yeah. So, I've met her, but she's not become
I think it's Marcus who's the leader of the OPA. The guy who's
Carlina
building.
Drummer.
Yeah.
Her, yes, yeah. I recognize her now, okay. She just isn't super relevant at the point of the story that I'm at, I guess, maybe?
Yeah. No.
Um,
What season are you on?
I think I'm somewhere in season 3 or 4. I
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
remember. Um,
Fair. I don't think. I think she's our most relevance during the OPA stuff early on. I don't know. Maybe.
I think I'm at the end of season. I was at the bit where spoilers for Expanse season 3 or 4. The bit where important political lady
Oh God.
has to escape the ship from the man who is the Empire, who maybe was making the stealth ships with the Martian lady.
Yeah. Hmm.
That bit.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I
the
got
last
you
thing I
now.
remember. Which was great. I just watched too much of it too quickly and was just like, okay, I
Yeah.
need a break, and then did not go back to it.
Yeah. I need to go back to it.
But anyway, no, again, another thing that just looks very cool.
It's kind of unfortunate because I really loved The Expanse and it's that hard sci-fi that I really loved. But then Star Wars started releasing things.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of content right now.
Yeah, like I mean,
Uh,
even flipping Games Workshop now has its own streaming service.
it does.
God
I'm
knows
intrigued by that.
it's
Um,
not had the best of times.
I am aware,
I
but that's
believe there
not a
was
thing
a
we need to talk about.
no. It's not a thing that we need to talk about because yeah, it's
That's a thing that if we get trailers and stuff come up, we can maybe discuss. We will see.
Mhm.
But I think we're kind of done. We just had a quick, just kind of rambling all over the place, but
Yeah,
exciting stuff basically.
it is. It's a lot of exciting stuff. Halo TV series.
And we've got Boba Fett coming up soon. We've still got Hawkeye
Yeah.
going on. We've got more Star Wars and Marvel next year. We've got No Way Home at Christmas. It's a great time.
No Way Home. No Way Home.
But until then,
Got No Way Home.
we'll end this one here. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cabincast. For more episodes, go to www.cabincast.podbean.com or use the Podbean app. You can now also find us on iTunes and Pocket Casts under Cabincast and on YouTube. The uploads here are quite kind. Finally, you can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Cabincast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.